All right, so if I was ready to start documenting activities for throughout the day, I could take a photo of a child if I wanted to. I have to select which teacher's doing it and which child the photo is for. Or I can select all the kids by selecting this circle here, and that would highlight all of the kids, and I can take a photo that will include all of them.
Okay.
And I click this purple camera. So here on your tablets, your cameras will pull up.
Okay.
But on my computer, I have it disabled, so I could choose my pen logo. It's our old logo. Bear with me here, and I have a photo prepared. And that photo is not in the child's gallery yet. That'd be a little too easy, and it leaves too much room for photos being uploaded in the wrong child's gallery. So let's say like this child wasn't in that photo. If I had selected, if I chosen her and uploaded that photo immediately, the parent would see a photo of a child that's not theirs.
Right.
So we do make it an extra step, and it's very intentional, just lesson learned from a past design. If I want that photo to go to all the kids' gallery, I would have to make sure they're all selected still, and the teacher is still selected, and I can choose photo note. And I can just simply send it to the gallery. I could say, or I have to select which photo I want to send. I'm going to choose a different one than I took because my Kangarootime logo is blurry in here. So I'm going to say that these photos are what I took, and I want them to be sent to all of those kids' gallery. So I would just hit send to gallery, and that's it. Now the parents can log in and see those photos. If I would rather add some sort of caption first, I can do that. So I have all my kids selected and the teacher, and I hit photo note, and I can choose which photos I want to create a note for, and I hit create note. And what that's going to do is add a caption basically and send it to the gallery at once.
Okay.
So I'm creating the note and I'm sending it to the gallery. So 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay.
And I would say as teachers are adopting the roaming module, I would say photos are great. They're really awesome to have parents kept in the loop on stuff. But I would say maybe, tackle checking kids in and out first, then tackle making sure they're in the right groups, and then move on to photos down the road as you guys feel more comfortable. It's kind of up to you guys and what you want to adopt right away. But photos, I think take just a couple practices to get the hang of things, So I'm going to deselect all my kids here and just focus on one child for right now. So I have my teacher selected, and I'm going to do a note. I'm going to select which child I want to do a note for. So I can use any of these categories to create notes about what we did throughout the day. I'm going to start at the top, but I could jump around to any category that made sense right now. I'm going to go to my day. If I had something to write about, I could type something in here. If I wanted to copy and paste some information that I'd already created. I'd already created like a lesson plan or an activity sheet for the day. I could copy and paste it in here if I really wanted to. Or I could type something in. Ooh, you can't type today. So fun. Save. I can move on to another category. I'm just going to go in order here. I'm going to go to DT, which stands for diaper and toileting. So I have all of these buttons here to help me create a note about what the child did or what activity had happened that day. So I'm going to say that Claire went potty. Produces a sentence that captures that activity. If she went potty 20 minutes ago and I just now got around to documenting it, I could edit the timestamp, but I can't do it retroactively. I have to choose something either current or in the past. If I wanted to provide more details than this, I could add more on by choosing to edit that and hit update, and that changes the time and it puts it in chronological order.
Okay.
And I can use any of these buttons here. If I wanted to say that, what, she did try to go potty, but I'm going to take her again in 10 minutes, I could do that. So in 10 minutes, a little visual alert would go off over her face, indicating that she needs to be taken to the potty again.
Oh.
So it's great for potty training or for the diaper changes.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what action was already produced here.
So
But
we
I'm using,
so we select the intervals for diaper changing. There's not anything automatic. We have to select that.
that is true.
Okay.
Because we want it to start as soon as the action has happened, not like starting as soon as the parent drops them off. But what will be great is if you have to check every hour or every 2 hours, as soon as you produce that sentence, the in 65 minutes, that timer is going to go off, and this stays there. This is going to stay at 1 hour 5 minutes until you decide to change it. So you don't have to choose 1 hour 5 minutes every single time you change a diaper.
Okay. And then what about on a daily basis? Will that still be 1 hour tomorrow, or do we need to do it
No,
every day?
as soon as the child is checked out and back in, it all is cleared out.
Okay.
So we have heard that question before of being able to set up like parameters, like every child between this age must be checked, kind of setting up a template sort of thing. So that is something we have on the radar and will
Okay.
probably give us an option at some point.
Okay.
I'm going to go on to nutrition. So there's some more categories here. And I should point out that if any time these buttons don't produce a sentence that works quite right for you, you can always choose custom text instead.
Okay.
You can type your own information there. But we try to have teachers basically choose the path of least resistance, right? Or the easiest, most efficient way to document things. We don't want teachers to be glued to a tablet. We want them to document something, put the tablet down, move on, spend time with the kids, right? So here, if child ate their lunch, I could say she ate her lunch and she ate all of it. If I wanted to add details about what she was served, I could add that in.
Oh, okay.
So again, I think it was the least amount of clicks to just produce something with the predictive text buttons
Right.
and then edit what I already created there. I think that's the easiest. Instead of choosing custom text, we served pizza, then the spelling's all off and all that stuff. So I'm just going to cancel out of that. Now, I'm going to go through the rest of these categories and then I'll show you how to do this for more than one child at a time.
Okay.
So exercise is an open-ended, let me back up to nutrition real quick, sorry. So these three, breast milk, formula, and milk, all look very similar. There's a prepared option and a consumed option. I would choose 4 ounces, how much was consumed. Again, I can use the feeding interval timers for this as well. Okay. Exercise is an open-ended text box if you want to type anything in there. Rest, you can say they went down for a midday nap. What's going to happen is some Z's are going to start flashing over her face in the room view. And when she wakes up, I'll hit the wake up button. But let me show you what those Z's look like. I'm going to hit that return to pre-3 up here in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
And there should be Z's flashing over this child's face as soon as my internet catches up to it. Come on, Claire. There we go. She's sleeping. So this is great if you have subs that step in or like a nap time aid that comes in. You don't have to keep track of which kids are sleeping. It's just a visual right there.
Okay.
I'm going to go back into Claire's notes. I'm going to go to health. Health is an open-ended text box. Same with supplies. And then education. So education, these are just to help document what's been worked on in the classroom. This is not like an official assessment tool it's basically in the final stages of design and then testing. So this is a parent communication tool, right? So you're telling parents what you guys are working on at school for the day.
Right.
So we're working on fine motor skills, working on developing them. This is not where we would indicate that there's a delay. That wouldn't really be the appropriate place to put that. Imagine just like seeing in a daily note that goes home with you, oh, my child has a developmental delay. It's kind of an important thing to have a conversation about. So that's not what the goal of this is.
So can we, in this, we can create a note with this. So which we would want to do if we were working on a fine motor development. We would want to use custom text to describe what activity we were doing because that's
Sure.
just as
Hmm.
important.
Yep. So you can either edit this note, like add to it or put something else in here, or just start fresh and choose a custom text box. And this is really where, you could, if you have a lesson plan already figured out for the day, you can,
Yeah.
copy and paste it in for this child alone or for the entire class at once. You can do a
Okay.
group documentation for them.
Okay.
Well, and to add to that, if you want to add a picture of the child developing their fine motor skills, you can add a photo by using this plus sign. So at the end of every
Oh,
sentence, you can attach a photo.
nice.
So the first thing that I showed you is how to use the photo note feature, like how to take a photo and then send it to the gallery. Well, if you had just taken the photo and you hadn't taken the necessary steps to make sure it's in the parent's gallery, or you hadn't used a photo note, that's okay. You still have it available to use. You can just use this little plus sign at the end of any sentence and attach it this way. So it just depends on what the easiest way is for you guys to do it. So if I
Okay.
choose a photo here, it's going to attach it to this daily note so the parent sees it in their daily note. It's in your records, and at the same time it's going to send it to the gallery. So this is, I think, the easiest way. I like using the plus signs at the end of the sentences to attach and send photos. That's my favorite way.
Okay.
So on the left hand side, I do have a filter of all. I could choose to see the photos that have been taken for all the kids, for only the kids in this group, or only this child. So it narrows it down. So what if I had taken a photo and I had tagged or I had selected that it was for a different child, but I realized, oh, you know what, Timmy's in this photo also. I want this to go to their parent. So even though this photo was of another child in another group, somewhere in the school, I can still have it available if I realize that the child was in this photo also.
Okay.
That's what these filters are for. You can kind of narrow it down. I'm going to X out of this. So the last category is photo note, and it's basically just what we had been talking about. All right, I'm going to X out of this again. Okay, so what happens to all of these sentences? So every time I create a sentence, parents are not notified. That would be overkill. Some parents might love it. Of course, those parents, right? But a lot of parents would just start disregarding what was sent throughout the day. So we want to reserve push notifications for messages that get sent to parents because those are more crucial pieces of information.
Right.
This is really helpful information for a parent to know about what's going on with their child, but we're not going to send a push notification for it.
Right.
Anytime throughout the day, if a parent logs in to their account, they can see this in real time. Does that make sense? The difference between parents have access to it, but they're not going to get notified?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good. So what parents will see, I'm going to go to return to pre-3. What parents will see is basically this. So these are the notes that I did today, and this looks very similar to what parents will see when they log in, just like these sentences on a table. At the end of the day, when the child is checked out, they will get a copy of this report sent to them. So you don't have to worry about providing it or printing it or sending it home with them. The parent is emailed a copy of this report as soon as the child is checked out.
Great.
So if you didn't type in a category, if you didn't put something in the supplies or health or exercise category, they don't show up here. It's only going to display categories that have some information typed into it.
Okay.
Alrighty. X out of here. That's basically the rooming module. Oh, I guess I should show you one other thing. I'm going to select all the kids and which teacher's doing this action. And I'm going to say we all had lunch.
So
Let's say we all.
you selected all consumed all in that just now.
I did. You could choose anything.
Do
So
you
let's
have
say
to choose a
Tony
second one or
didn't.
no?
Hmm?
Do you have to choose a consumed
Yes, if you
one?
choose a prepared, you have to choose a consumed. If you want to use these buttons, if you just want to type something, you don't want to be so specific. You just want to say, we ate veggies and pizza today, that's fine. That might be a better way to do a group documentation note. If you'd rather, that this sentence populates as a result of the predictive text buttons, but this child here didn't eat most or all of what was served, then what I would do is go to this child's individual note and change it. If I go,
Okay.
oops, you know what? I forgot Tony didn't eat everything. Let me go change that just for Tony. I have to go to his note and I can change it just for him. I can say Tony ate some.
Okay.
So again, which way is going to be easiest? Do I want to create a note for all the kids and go back and just edit it for one? Or maybe I would rather select all and deselect Tony
Oh,
first.
okay.
Maybe I don't want to create the note for him because he has a special diet and I know he's a picky eater, so he's probably, so you're really doing this out, like teachers doing this after the meal was served. They're not doing it before. So she'll know whether he fit into the same categories everybody else.
Right.
So if she knows he didn't eat all of his food, but everyone else did, then it's easiest to maybe deselect him first and then do the note, and it will skip
Okay.
him.
Okay.
So again, what's the least amount of clicks to do?